You know, it's always bad. The Lonely Marks, JPO, because
We're live.
hey, we're live.
We're always bad.
Yeah, no, not always bad. We're only bad sometimes. But I like to think we're decent. I mean, we're probably not like one of the better shows on YouTube, but we're
I'll
not the
take
worst.
decent. I'll take decent. I'll
But we're
solid
not
like
but we're not the
5.5.
worst. Yeah, we're probably
Right.
like
We're
right
definitely
somewhere
the number one wrestling podcast on this channel.
on
Yeah.
this channel.
We're definitely number one.
I would agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
We're like the movie that's like we're the number one R-rated comedy of the season. It's like
You're the only R-rated comedy in theaters.
Yeah.
I've
They're like
definitely
Strays
seen
going.
marketing
We're the
like
number
that.
one. We're the number one R-rated comedy featuring dogs that swear.
Yeah. That actually would be funny if they got very specific. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah.
And
It's
speaking
the
of number
Marks.
one, we do have a clear number one winner in our predictions.
Is that-
I'm starting to feel like it's you.
At the end of
Would that be you? Because I feel like it's you.
no, I'm the clear number 4 this time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? It's
Thinking
Austin
starting to
again.
think it's Paz. Starting to think it's Paz.
I'm pretty sure I won. I only missed one thing, and I got the opening match right.
I
Oh,
don't
can
think
we
that's-
scratch? Can we scratch that
No?
bonus point? It's so
No,
unfair
no,
because you had a flight to catch. You got lucky.
I like
with
how
that.
Austin's gone from never winning predictions, and now he's got the whole
I
bunch
only
of
missed
things.
one, so like, was anybody perfect?
No one's perfect. I think you got it. But yeah, I'm just saying, I like how you've gone from never winning a prediction thing to now going
Yeah.
out get a whole lot of things like backed up where you go, yeah, well, let's do this.
Get your peacocks ready for WCW.
Yes. Jacob will have to confirm, but I'm pretty sure I only got the women's one wrong.
I think we all got the women's one wrong.
Yeah, but I got everything else right.
No, the other women's one. We got that one. We all got that one wrong, but I sort of got it right, which we'll get into as the show goes on. But
Okay, so who won then? What's the point total?
well, I'm just going to reveal it later. But yes, Austin won.
Cool.
All
Because I've already
right, good episode. Good night.
Because I've already got a show picked out. I'll tell you at the end. Awesome.
Yeah, the
Alright.
one match where we all got it wrong is probably the most surprising one
Yeah.
for me
we'll talk
anyway,
about that.
as far as results go. But yeah, we'll get into it. But
We'll
yeah,
get it. Yeah.
I
Alright.
sucked. I only got 4 right.
Well, we'll get into it, but like I said, I never bet against Roman Reigns in these singles matches unless it's like this upcoming WrestleMania, and even then, I might not because of this past WrestleMania. So they just don't seem to want to let him do it. But I'll say before we get into SummerSlam, I do have a treat for you guys. I went to Collision this past week, and if you guys like to get a little behind the scenes on what goes on at Collision, it was in Greenville, South Carolina here. So yeah, it was a good time. We got there, had some decent seats, got seats for about $30. As long as you're not across from the hard camera, tickets are not terribly expensive for AEW shows, at least for non-pay-per-views. So I'll at least give them credit for that. You can get a lower bowl seat for anywhere from $20 to $40, which is pretty damn reasonable. So I'll give Tony Khan that. He is, I'm trying to. How the hell do you make that a ticker? There you go. All right, make that a ticker. Anyways, so they do. For anybody that wants to know, they do tape Ring of Honor before and after Collision. They had 3 matches. They
bookended, really? No, that's weird.
It's bookended, which is weird because so the show started at 7:30. I won't do any spoilers. I'll just say there was like a tag team match with the Iron Savages, a tag team match with the Infantry, and then a squash match with Powerhouse Hobbs. And Powerhouse Hobbs,
I think Hobbs wins.
It was way over in Greenville. People loved Powerhouse Hobbs. That dude was like super over. He was a star. And then they actually got into the actual show. The show was good. I wouldn't say there was any like. Unfortunately, I didn't get like a 5-star FTR match like there was like 2 weeks ago. But the FTR match they did have was good. Their match with Big Bill and Brian Cage was pretty solid. FTR was super over in Greenville. Because they're both kind of from the Carolinas, so that's they were way over. Chris Stadlander was pretty over, but that match was kind of boring. Samoa Joe super over, big time star in Greenville. House of Black was way over, and then the Jay White match was whatever. But the CM Punk Ricky Starks match felt like a big match. The crowd was pretty split. But by the end, kind of in the camp of CM Punk. Crowd was super into that match, though. That match was a lot of fun. And Ricky Starks got mega heat for attacking Ricky Steamboat after the match. Yeah, big time nuclear heat for taking him out. So yeah, solid show there. And then yeah, post show. I don't know if you guys saw they actually uploaded the segment on their YouTube thing, but FTR did an in-ring thing for Dennis Condrey, kind of honoring Dennis Condrey and Midnight Express. They've actually uploaded that whole segment on YouTube. You can go see it. But yeah, that was pretty cool because Midnight Express was big time in Carolina as well. And then they taped. Went back to Ring of Honor after most of the crowd left, other than maybe about 1,000 people. There's about 4,000 people there, maybe 1,000 people.
Hey guys, we're gonna tape Ring of
Honor.
Honor.
Ring of Honor. Hey, we're gonna take Ring of Honor. Stick around for Ring of Honor. And then they proceeded to. I didn't even stay for the whole thing because we got an hour into it and they were still taping. Apparently, they taped because I looked at another report, like 9 matches after Collision, which is like, no, thank you. I can't stick around. It was already 10 o'clock. I stuck around for an hour, watched a Dalton Castle match, watched a Lee Moriarty match, watched a Tony Nese match, and then I was out after that. And apparently they did like 5 other matches after that. So, yeah, too many. I didn't want to stick around until midnight. I think that's asking a little too much of the crowd. Tape a few for a few after.
To be honest, it's asking too much of the TV crowd too when there's like kind of 9 banal matches,
Yeah, and it's the only people that kind of stuck around were the people kind of sitting on the floor section. Some people they allowed them to move down into the floor section just to kind of fill it in.
No, I'm sure they were filling in those empty seats. Yeah.
Oh yeah, filling them in. But yeah, it was interesting. So I mean, did get to see a couple of stars. It was cool. But yeah, if you attend a Collision, if anybody does, yeah, there is some Ring of Honor before and after. How much you want to stay for is entirely up to you, though. So yeah, I think it's asking too much for people to stay around for like 9 matches. That's way too much. Late, so.
I get why they probably do it for like convenience, but yeah, like I just this is the issue. That's the issue I had with like them taping like was it like that when they take Rampage, they did the Dark, and then they did Rampage, and then it was just like you're burning out the crowd by the time Rampage gets along, and so like the crowd like. Who otherwise hot are just dead by the time you.
I don't think that because it's only about an hour or 30 minutes, of pregame. Okay, it's the after stuff that if you want people to still be alive here.
Yeah, it's the Dynamite Rampage I went to in Columbia a few months ago. The crowd was okay even through Rampage because Rampage started at about 10:15, and Rampage is only an hour, so the crowd was up for the hour. You know what I mean? They got into it because it was still a TV thing. They still kept the energy up, but then after that, it's like, yeah, you end the show there. Like if you started to try to do stuff after that, you're going to be.
But Ring of Honor is 2, right? That's like, isn't that 2 hours? Is it Ring of Honor 1 hour?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much they were doing, but they were obviously taping a lot. They probably
because they're not on a real network. They're not really held to a. It's like HBO almost, you know what I mean? Like HBO doesn't have 20-minute, 40-minute shows. They can have a 35-minute show, a 50-minute show. So I think it's kind of like that. So like those 9 matches, there's a good chance that is one episode, which is a bit much.
Yeah, a lot of them were enhancement matches. Like
right.
Like obviously this person's going over. They if you were there live, the one star gets the entrance. The other one was already in the ring.
Already in the ring. Oh yeah. Same as Dark. Yeah.
So yeah, Dalton Castle, Tony Nese, like some of these guys, Powerhouse Hobbs, like they're obviously like going over. Most of the matches were fairly quick. I will say Tony Nese was able to get the crowd going for his thing because he was doing a little bit of sort of a Simon Dean type thing where he was doing this like fitness guru thing, and he started like he came out and cut a promo and he's talking about Greenville, how your diet mostly consists of Waffle House, which popped the crowd, and then for the whole match we were all chanting Waffle House, we want waffles, all kinds of stuff. So the crowd had a little fun with that at least. But yeah, other than that, it was
I'm a bit disappointed with like maybe the presentation of Ring of Honor. It doesn't really seem like that much different to, and AEW necessarily. And just like I don't know, it'd be beneficial if they were just its own kind of, you can have like obviously AEW people like go in and
it's got that real vibe of like kind of those like middle seasons of like NXT, like the game show where it's like this feels secondary. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's in the same arena as Collision. It's just now they got different,
They
digital
just all they did was
aprons.
switch out all the aprons,
right.
And switched out the logos and everything, and
you share a lot of roster. Like I was surprised Hobbs is on Ring of Honor. Like I guess they're just sharing people, for the most part,
Yeah, he's on Ring of Honor, but then he had a promo on Collision.
Right?
It's kind of odd. Yeah, it's one of those odd things.
Yeah. And then like the pay per view is good, but like we were mentioning, I know they had issues with the good in the card because injuries and stuff. But like, yeah, but you got to the few days out from the show, and then like didn't have anything for Claudio to do. It's just like they had hardly any matches. It's just like, man, I don't know. Like, man, I feel like Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor just to say, hey, look what I got. I got my favorite thing. I don't know. Maybe
I think he has. I don't agree with that. I think he has pure intentions. I just think, unfortunately, it's secondary. I think he's putting too much on himself. It feels like for instance, now that they got Collision, they canceled Dark, and now basically Rampage is almost Darkish, and then like Ring of Honor really is just AEW Dark now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess they're not gonna tape. Dark is no more, right? Like, period. Like,
Dark and Elevation.
Yeah, Dark and Elevation have both been done for a couple months.
Right.
Now.
So that makes me wonder, how the actual tapings go now, because I can also announce that I will be going to another AEW show in the near future, because on August 23rd in Duluth, Georgia, which is essentially northeast Atlanta. I don't actually have to go into Atlanta. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes away from me. I will be going to the Dynamite Rampage tapings. I've already got my ticket and my hotel room for the evening. I'm going to stay over, and that is the go home Dynamite and Rampage for the Wembley show. So I'm hoping it'll be a fun. I'm hoping it'll be a fun Dynamite and Rampage, because that's the last.
Nigel McGuinness comes out of retirement. Will Ospreay attacks Omega.
We'll see. It makes sense because it makes me think that they're. Yeah, it makes me think that they're flying out of Atlanta, which makes sense, flying over to London via Atlanta. So that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I will be going there, and I can give you guys a live report from that taping as well. So I can give you Rampage spoilers that next night. That's on a Wednesday, and then we'll be talking on Thursday. And
I love spoilers.
Spoil it, yeah. Well, I can just tell you what might happen.
I mean, I don't know.
It's like your Ring of Honor spoilers. You're like, Tony Nese appeared.
It's like Tony Nese has a match. Dalton Castle, what are we really spoiling here? They had
half spoilers.
What are you gonna do? Who cares?
Slim
J worked a match. That dude's been working for like 25 years.
I was just reading like old NWA Wildside results from like 2000. He's on.
Oh no, yeah, that dude's because he was wrestling when he was like 16 on Wildside. Yeah, that dude's been around forever. But yeah,
the problem with like so much wrestling is like I used to religiously watch like Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision, and just because I guess the importance of Rampage has gone down even in their eyes because of Collision. I haven't watched as much Rampage, but like I will still watch most of them. But yeah,
never missed an episode yet.
Well, and that Rampage I'm hoping will be better too, because they're not doing a Collision that week before Wembley, because obviously they'll already be in London. So I'm hoping that Dynamite and Rampage will also feature some Collision people on there.
That's a good question. How is that going to work? They just simply won't have a show that week?
I think they just won't have a show that
week.
Early. I don't know. Or, as far as I can tell, I mean, it doesn't say on the thing that they're taping Collision, which wouldn't be a good idea. That'd be like 5 hours of television. You can't do that.
I just wonder, are they going to show like reruns or just nothing? Or
maybe just show something. I don't know. It's not confirmed. But if you look on the AEW live events page, there is no taping.
Yeah, no, I thought about that before. I've been meaning to kind of
so I don't know. They might just have Collision people on Rampage and Dynamite, and just be like, hey, maybe throw some stuff in there and show that on Collision. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, so. But other than that, I'll be at that show, bring you guys a live report. But we could talk some SummerSlam. What we're here to talk about, SummerSlam 2023 from Detroit. Thought the crowd was kind of.
I thought the crowd was bad for the most part, honestly. Yeah. I thought that. I mean, sometimes I don't blame the crowd for some reason. There was a match we'll get into that I think really diluted the crowd, and for good reason. It would dilute me if I was in the crowd for that match. But like it never really picked back up, and I think it hurt a couple of the matches going after it. We'll get to it.
Yeah, crowd was mad, but let's get into it. We had our opener, Logan Paul defeating Ricochet. Jacob, what did you think of this opener to kick off SummerSlam?
Yeah, kind of a cop out for an opener. Let's put Logan Paul on first because he's got to go to his brother.
Oh, he actually, people said he flew out right afterwards and was ringside at the Jake Paul fight.
In his gear, I heard,
yeah, in his gear still. So he must have hopped.
I wouldn't know because I'm not dumb and I didn't spend $60 on a douchebag versus a passes time
in a worked boxing match. Yeah, no thanks.
$60. Fuck you if you paid that.
Yeah,
no, I'll pay $50 for a pay-per-view that has like 11 matches on it, but not
Yeah,
60 for
one
One fight. Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks.
Or 3 of you.
especially a fight that could last like 2 minutes. Like I'm not taking that
A
risk.
fight where
Sorry.
Jake Paul just fights people who aren't boxers.
Yeah.
So,
I don't care if he's knocked up. I paid $50. Get back up. He's dead. I paid $50. You get
Knock
him back
out
up.
again. Knock him out again.
You wake him at Bernie's him. I don't give a.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah.
but no, as far as openers, I think this was the right call because they have these two. I hope this isn't the last we see of them in the ring because I think these two put on a really good match. I think they work really well together. I think sometimes they try to do a little too much or they try to go too fast because there are some moments where you can tell they're like trying to do a big spot and it's like not the cleanest. But at the same time, Logan Paul's only been doing this for like a year and a half. So, you can't complain too much. Some really good spots, some good false finishes. I like the the stuff with Samantha Irvin, and I knew that Corey Graves was going to mention something about her wearing yellow when Logan Paul also came out wearing yellow.
He was definitely doing the heel thing of like, oh, I think Samantha Irvin's got a twinkle in her eye for Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a Corey Graves annoyed me on this show. I don't know. He just kind of did.
He did during some matches, and then some other matches, like he was just your basic. I think
I was yearning for Pat McAfee on this show. I really could have used some Pat McAfee on this one with Cole.
We should all, but just before we get into it, we should also mention that they've shaken up the announcers. So on Raw, there's going to be Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, which is usually on SmackDown, and now on SmackDown, there's going to be a 3-man booth with Corey Graves and Kevin Patrick and Michael Cole. So Michael Cole's doing both shows.
Didn't we just mix it up like not that long ago? Like this.
Yeah,
This
I don't mind.
not that.
but the draft doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, but Kevin Patrick is boring, so I don't get. He needed that guidance. But yeah, I think it was the right move.
JPL, you know who they need? Blake Chadwick, our buddy from Florida. He's really
Hey man,
good.
he's really there. Level up. Call him up.
Call him up, man. We like that guy. He's a good.
You know what?
Yeah.
Maybe both NXT guys, like Vic Joseph, shouldn't be on it.
Vic Joseph is good. Yeah, Vic Joseph is good. Yeah, let Blake step up to like the main NXT out there. Bring Vic Joseph up. Yeah, give him a promotion.
Here's a crazy idea, WWE. Instead of this guy that you just hired because he was good at another sport or something, maybe people that actually know how to call wrestling, like Vic, who's been doing it for a while.
Like what's it? Remember what's the name of the American Gladiators guy who did like Raw commentary for a while?
Yeah,
Mike Adamle. No.
Mike Adamle, yeah. Like when they brought him in, he knew nothing about wrestling, and then it's like, oh, but he's like, he did American Gladiators, so he can do wrestling. It's like, no,
cool.
Like, what are we doing?
And they didn't learn.
I'm sure if a guy from WWE, I'm sure if Michael Cole was like, "Can I get the job of American Gladiators?" just right off the cusp, be like, "Do you fucking know anything about us?" Like they would probably wait a second, Like I hate that logic.
They hadn't learned from that because obviously there was that dude Adnan Burke who lasted like 2 months.
No, if you're good at UFC or football or American Gladiators, evidently you get a way better chance than I don't know, somebody that's actually called thousands of matches already. Like,
yeah, right
on.
And I felt bad for that guy because of course he sucks, but of course he did. He's not.
I don't even blame him. He's got no right to be good in a way.
No, I'll give AEW props. They had like some new faces and some old faces when they got Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross and Excalibur, who like knows the indie wrestlers, who knows everything about these guys from like PWG and whatever, Ring of Honor, like all this stuff. Like he knows this, he can be that guy. Yeah. But then you eventually brought in Taz, who's been doing this forever. Whatever. Like you get guys who know wrestling.
And Collision. I love that we're seeing a little bit of Ian Riccaboni from Ring of Honor, who's getting a nice break. Kevin Kelly, he's a fucking WWF alumni from the early 2000s. So it's people that know what they're doing. Nigel, people that are established people. Yeah. Even Excalibur was established in his own way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he was established, indie commentator, and he knew what he was doing. So, I don't know. Anyways, that was a digression, but Corey Graves kind of annoyed me on the show in a kind of a Matt Stryker way. I was just getting annoyed with him.
I mentioned Matt Stryker on that trivia before. I find him annoying.
Yeah, but Richie, what did you think of this match overall, though? The Logan Paul match?
I thought it was good. Overall, it's probably maybe one of the better matches on the show. But I mean, in a way, and I thought the crowd was really good. I'm like, this crowd's great, and they didn't have that didn't last. But yeah, obviously they were definitely into Ricochet got probably one of the better reactions he's had since being on the main roster. I thought they had decent chemistry, but yeah, they're going like Jacob said, they're going. Sometimes they're going a bit too fast and sort of getting caught up there. I did like there was one moment where the outside the outside buckshot lariat type move that was kind of cool. Looked kind of cool.
I was going to hit his head on the
Oh my
barricade.
God. I didn't know what he was doing at first, and then he basically buckshot it over that and then did a close. I was like, oh my God, yeah, don't hurt yourself.
How does he do it better than Hangman? And that's his move.
Well, he definitely does it better than CM Punk.
He
He didn't fall on his face. They started doing Spanish flies all over the place, and I was like, please don't kill yourselves like you did.
But considering you busted Logan Paul open last time, so.
But I thought it was cool. They did the Spanish fly off the apron and both landed on their feet. I thought that was cool. That was great. And they did another one on the floor. Like that was a good spot. So these guys
I mean, are we supposed to? We'll get fit. Are we supposed to know who the camera guy was that passed him the Brass Knucks? It
didn't look like his buddy that co-hosts the podcast with him. It looked like somebody else.
It's definitely not KSI.
Yeah, it's a white dude. Wasn't it?
You are correct.
Yeah, it's not KSI. And it's not
no, I think even on commentary they're pretty vague. Like it's someone from his entourage. Like I don't think we're necessarily supposed to. They kind of told us like it's his buddy. Move on. Fuck you. It's his friend.
But yeah, at the same time, it's like okay, so just somebody who's
Right.
in there.
It's just somebody now.
Yeah, I guess if Jake Paul had not had a fight that night, it probably could have been Jake Paul because that would have made a lot of sense.
I think we're definitely getting a Paul Brothers tag match at some point, right? Like we gotta.
Maybe I don't know if I want
Maybe
to
a Mania thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
but you also didn't want to see Logan wrestle. I bet you from day one. So
I wasn't against it. I knew he's an athlete. He's better. I like him more than Jake. I just don't think Jake would have the commitment that Logan has to the thing.
You know, carry him. I'm just saying. I think
it would be a total Karl Malone, Dennis Rodman situation.
I think unfortunately though, but it's WWE. I think the money's on the table. I think Jake likes money. So I think it's bound to happen. I think it's guaranteed.
The Pauls versus the Usos. Oh wait.
We'll get there.
Spoilers.
But what do you think of this match overall?
This is a good one as you can imagine here, man. Like these two styles, I think their styles kind of meshed nicely, from on paper. So, a couple of flubs here and there, but for the most part, relatively smooth. Again, I'll give Logan credit here if he had said this was just a normal mid-carder guy that you wouldn't have, thought too much about it. So, yeah, good match. We all knew Logan would win.
Yeah. I know. I'll give Logan credit, man. He's got natural, heel charisma, in the ring. I think he's very natural as far as, playing to the crowd, doing the spots where he needs to in between moves, getting a little heat, good transitions. He's got a natural knack for it. So I'll give him that. I like this match a lot.
I liked how he was antagonizing Samantha, and that was kind of cool.
Exactly what he should have done. Yeah, to keep getting heat. Yeah, he did what he had to do, and he had the power of the punch tonight. It was real William Regal would call it.
Yeah,
the knuckles. But good match. I like this match a lot. I thought it was a really solid opener. So good stuff. But we'll move on to Cody Rhodes taking out Brock Lesnar.
One of the main events, aka no main event.
Four main events.
Quadruple main event. No, it's not.
That was a clear main event on the show. What are you talking about? Stop it.
Shut up with that. Now it's not just double main event. Now we're in quadruple main event.
It was one of 8 main events, you guys.
It's the second match on the card. It's on the main event.
Do we really have to calm Brock's ego? Who's that for? Is it Brock's ego? Is it to overhype the show? No matter what, it's stupid. Everyone made fun of it. Everyone in my house made fun of it. I was watching my brother, my niece, and one of our friends. We're all making fun of. We're only one main event in. Calm down. Who's that for?
I know. Who doesn't think the Bloodline is the main event of the fucking show? What are we doing?
It's the final match.
Yeah, exactly. Of course it is. Yeah. But JP, what do you think of this one though? This co-main event of Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar.
Guys, what a show. We're only one main event in, right? This was good. This is obviously, and we'll get to spoilers, I guess, but way longer than any of us thought, right? Who was the closest on this? Who even had the longest number? It's 18, right?
No, I think that would have been Pez as well because I think he said 13.
I said 13
but I meant overall it was 18, right?
It was 16 and a half or 17 and a half, something like that. I said 13 and a half. Yeah, it went longer than I thought it would.
You're actually not that far off. Yeah, a lot of us kind of underestimated this because we just thought it was a bit weird on paper that it was a normal match. We kind of thought maybe it would be kind of Suplex City. So I thought it was a good story. Again, it's not really. I'm still a little kind of over and bored by Brock because again, this kind of meshes into just kind of getting dominated, little hope spots. Like it's not the most enthralling story in my opinion, but I thought they did a good enough story here. I liked the match to a degree here. So and an interesting post too. Supposedly not actually planned that Brock did that show of respect here. So I'm imagining like normal, he'll probably dip and we'll see him, Survivor Series, Rumble or whatever. But
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of why I also agreed to Cody because I'm like, I think Brock's going to take a couple months off and come back near the end of the year. Somewhere he'll come back.
He doesn't need to be around for September, October, whatever it is.
No, he'll take some time off, go hunting for a little while, and come back.
He's already had 8 matches this year, so I mean, he's already got his limit.
He's done pretty good so far. Yeah, we've had a lot of Brock Lesnar. Richie, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if you were talking about because I was like distracted. But at one point I felt bad for Brock. He split his shorts.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he totally just split his shorts.
Thank God he had some underwear. We would have seen the beast incarnate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, would have seen Brock's Lesnar.
Yeah, we would have seen what Sable sees.
We would have gotten a glimpse at the next big thing. Hey.
But no, it was a good match. Again, this considering that you did all the outside stuff anyway, it's like so you went to the outside and you put Cody through a table and did all that stuff. Like, why was it a normal match? Like, you could have made it a street fight or something. I don't understand why all these matches were just normal matches.
It felt like a last man standing match or something. Like he kept
I think that's what my friend said.
And I was like, 1, 2, the do the 10. If you're gonna do the 10 count gimmick, just make it like a last man standing thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, it was really good. I was like, sometimes like Brock matches can be the same, but this is a bit different. You can tell they have good chemistry and respect for each other. And that was cool at the end. I guess Brock turned babyface, but apparently, according to Triple H at the press conference, that the shaking the hand and the raising the arm that was unplanned. That was just on Brock. He decided to do that. So, I mean, he obviously, that's kind of cool. I guess. I mean, we've still got a little bit till Mania, so I don't know. I guess Cody probably have like a sort of mini feud between there with somebody, maybe. I don't know if they get, if that's where they're going. So, I guess right guy won. But it was a good match. I wasn't blown away or anything, but it was fun.
Yeah, Jacob.
I'm torn. This might be my favorite match on the show, actually, because of the story. You had your time.
I just want to get that joke in. Sorry.
Because I think that, and I was on the why is this just a normal match? I was on that train, and then the story they were able to tell, it kind of worked, not just being a normal match, because it was I think Brock kind of knew, hey, I'm not gonna be able to just keep Cody down. I gotta, he's not gonna give up. He's gonna kick out. I gotta beat him so much that he's not gonna be able to get back in the ring. And I think they told that story extremely well. It was a really good match, and it's probably one of the better Brock Lesnar matches we've gotten since his return. A decade ago. At least in my opinion. I really enjoyed the story they were able to tell. And then if that was an unscripted moment at the end, that's Brock just doesn't do that on screen a lot. Who knows where Cody's going next? Who knows where Brock's going next, or when we'll see Brock again? I think this was a great way to end it. I think a last man standing, like Pez said, could have made sense if there was the whole, you can't keep me down. I get whatever. But for the story that they were able to tell, I think it worked. So I really enjoyed this match. Probably my favorite of the night so far, from a storytelling standpoint, at least.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. Yeah, it was a little bit better than I probably thought it would be. They told a good story here, but I think a last man standing thing would have made sense for what they kind of did within the match. In hindsight, that would have worked. I also don't understand why Cody didn't get disqualified for slamming the stairs into Brock's head right in front of the referee. But I guess referee didn't want to get killed by Brock Lesnar. I don't know. I saw this weird argument online. It was because I saw this on multiple threads. Why didn't he get disqualified? And some people were like, well, the stairs are like part of the ring. They're already out there. And I was like, I'll tell you why that's bullshit. Because if you take apart the ring and grab that big, metal hook, that hooks the ropes on there and jab that into your opponent's eye, is that not a DQ because it's part of the ring?
I will say
that's a stupid argument.
I don't agree, but I feel like it's not the first match that like, stairs for whatever reason. The referee.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes it just matches that have liberal with the rules. I always have an issue with AEW on this trajectory now, where stuff has it's a normal match, but apparently if you put someone through a table, it's got a cloth over it. If you put someone through a table, that's not DQ apparently. Where it's you put someone through a table, it's DQ.
Are they really trying to say? Is that really their loophole? The cloth?
I don't know. I don't think it's like. It just feels like. I think it's just like a sort of joke I made up because it's like. Well, my friend's like, well, I mean, it's a table spot in a normal match. Why isn't DQ? It's like, well, it's got a sheet over it, maybe. I don't know.
Well, my argument is, it's stuff that was already out there, so whatever. Well, there's chairs out there. People are sitting in chairs.
Everything's out there.
There's monitors on the table. If I take that monitor and slam it into somebody's head, that's a DQ. Yeah. It should be
the ring bell. The ring bell will get you disqualified by smacking the ring bell.
I don't understand. I understand if you get thrown into something stationary, that's one thing. I get it. But it wasn't him getting thrown into the stairs. It was him picking up stairs and slamming it into his head. I don't know. That should have been a DQ, but whatever. I guess the logic is he didn't want to get beat up by Brock, it's a DQ. But whatever. Call it like a relaxed rules match or something. Do something to where you justify that. Yeah. Last man standing, no problem. Then there's no DQ, so who cares? Use whatever you want.
Maybe you could call it an MMA rules match. We had that.
No.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet. But yeah, I thought this match was pretty good. Maybe not my favorite on the show. I don't know what my favorite match on the show was. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, still pretty good. So we got to the match that was basically built around so one guy could win it. LA Knight is victorious in the Slim Jim Battle Royal. I did enjoy the new commercial they did for Slim Jim. I don't know if you guys caught it, where it kind of had Macho Man on a TV screen doing the ooh yeah thing, but then LA Knight was in person going Slim Jim yeah, it was very similar.
He joked about that in the post scrum. I was like, yeah, isn't it crazy how we filmed that after I won the match real quick?
Yeah. So but yeah, this match was essentially and it felt like it just kind of booked to get some people that weren't on the show and just have LA Knight win a match. But yeah, I mean, battle royals are battle royals. It's is any one of them ever great? I don't know. Just kind of there. It happens. But I don't know, Jacob, would you think of this battle royal?
I thought this was one of the better battle royals that we've seen because I think it did do a good job of furthering some feuds and kind of reminding us hey, Santos Escobar and Austin Theory, they've got a title match coming. Karrion Kross and AJ Styles are kind of in the middle of a thing. Bronson Reed is still, he's right there. I thought maybe they would give to him, if not LA Knight, because apparently LA Knight doesn't win. But I'm happy to be wrong about this one. I thought it was a good Final Four: Bronson Reed, Sheamus, LA Knight, and AJ Styles. And then, yeah, I don't know if LA Knight and Sheamus are gonna do a prolonged thing, but I think they've got some pretty good in-ring chemistry. I think they can have a good feud if that's where they decide to go. Also, Grayson Waller and The Miz.
Kind of teasing a tag team or a partnership. Yeah, that would be.
I wouldn't be against that.
Actually. Yeah, they could have some good promo segments, I think. Yeah, those two guys. So I know Richie's a big fan of Grayson Waller right now. So,
yeah.
The Miz.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a typical battle royal. I did like how going to be the troll in the fans for a bit. And MVP comes out and goes, actually, no, you need Omos. I'm like, oh, no, they're not going to. I'm not going to do it.
I mean, I think it was just because, we'll have one monster in there to throw a bunch of dudes out, whatever. And then
I thought for a moment, because it's a 25-man and they only introduced 24, that Rhea Ripley might have been the final entrant, but it was Omos, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes more sense.
Or Dominic. You could have thrown Dominic in there. I think that would have been interesting.
The thing is, they always do. I mean, I know, I'm glad
there wasn't more champions in it. You don't need to jab more champions.
The they're always going to do this, and it's just a thing. Like it's like, oh, they always try to build up every Royal Rumble season. They always, oh, this guy's huge, and he's going to be hard to get eliminated, and the big guy never wins the match. It's just like
Omos did win that random ass like Survivor Series one though. So
yeah, but every time
most
like
of the time,
Andre the Giant Battle Royal came around, like I think Big Show won it once, but every time they've still hyped up like yeah, he's going to win.
Well, no, because they act like, oh, what are they going to do? And then it's the same shit. Oh, finally, 8 of them finally realized. Oh wait, we should just
eliminate the big guy. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I don't know why it took us 10 eliminations before we figured out maybe a few of us to team up, but
yeah, but most of the winners for the Andre the Giant have been like a bigger guy. Like you got Cesaro, Corbin, Lashley,
and the bigger guy was strong enough to lift him up. Yeah, like Cesaro lifted him up. John Cena can lift him up. This thing. Like so I don't know.
Lifted him up and took him out of the ring by himself. Like I still get amazed every time I see that.
Hey, Jey Uso won one of those.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah. So
let's not forget Mojo Rawley. Come on, guys.
Madcap Moss.
Yeah, was even in this one.
Anyways, JPO. Sorry, Richie. Go ahead.
No, I'm just like it'd be nice if like he won a battle royal, but it was like it was just to get him on the show, but it was for nothing. It's like does he win like a lifestyle and just supply a Slim Jims now or what?
By the way, at Collision in the arena, most of the stuff before the show was people just randomly yelling "yeah" for most of the pre-show. So that's the new woo. When people do woo in the arenas, yeah is the new woo. So but JPO.
Yeah, I mean this is the epitome of let's do LA right. I mean, my God, only 4 people get an entrance. You know what I mean? They didn't even really announce who was in this in the last second. Like I said, they kind of mentioned Shinsuke, maybe a couple people on SmackDown. This is the most blatant. Let's just get this guy over with Battle Royal. As far as the match, there's been some sloppy Battle Royals. This was good. This is nowhere. I don't really recall much sloppiness, but still at the end of the day, it's punch kick. You know what I mean? It was super obvious, but not a bad obvious. I do really like LA Knight, so I'm glad they're finally maybe doing something with him. But yeah, I just usually there's something for the Battle Royal, but I don't know. Yeah, this just seemed excess. If they kicked off Becky and Trish for this should have been on the pre-show.
In terms of like I mean, it doesn't matter in the long stand, but in terms of like who gets an entrance, who doesn't, like you couldn't have like I don't know, Karrion Kross or I don't know, Bronson Reed get an entrance over the Miz. I know the Miz has been there for ages, but do we really need the Miz's entrance? Was that important? I don't know. I just feel like
I think it just shows that they still like the Miz to a degree.
I don't know.
Former champion.
But they haven't worked. They need to work out whether they're going to push the Miz or just have him as a joke character. Just one of the other.
I don't think he's ever, especially after that last title run where like it was literally just transitional to be transitional. I don't think he'll ever be like that high again. I don't think so.
He only won that so he could be the 2-time Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, and to get it to a different person. Yeah.
I don't know much to say about this. LA Knight won. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. No, you meant to say yeah.
Yeah.
The only time I was happy to be wrong all night.
Yeah. Let's talk about something really juicy. Shayna Baszler defeated Ronda Rousey in an MMA rules match.
She shouldn't have, though. She shouldn't have. I think the doctors went in to check on Shayna. Usually, I don't know if that happens in a real MMA match. If the match keeps going,
that's one of the reasons, many reasons why this was stupid. Because let me go first on this one. Because in an MMA match, if somebody gets knocked down or supposedly knocked out, you don't have the referee going over to him going, "Are you okay? Are you okay? How you doing? You all right?" And then letting him get back up. That's not how an MMA match works. If they get knocked out, they get knocked out. They stop the match. Like that's it. That's how it is. We don't just keep bringing in doctors to look at people and then letting them get back up. Really, really dumb. So it didn't work at all like an MMA match. It went on way too long. I just think worked MMA and boxing matches in wrestling just doesn't work. I mean, going all the way back to like WrestleMania 2 with like Mr. T and Roddy Piper, like it just doesn't work. You don't do worked MMA, worked boxing. It's just really stupid because MMA fans aren't gonna like it because it's not a real MMA match. Pro wrestling fans aren't gonna like it because they just want to watch a pro wrestling match. So like, what's this for? And it's just stupid. And it had nothing to do with MMA. Like if you wanted to make it legitimate, like put them in the Lions Den thing or something. Like bring that back. Get
that pit fight. Remember that pit fight thing
pit
they've done a
fight.
couple times?
Bring an MMA referee. Get like Big John McCarthy. Give him a little paycheck. Bring somebody recognizable.
Bring it. Didn't remember when they did that pit fight with was it like that Seth Rollins?
Just said that.
Like they bring Daniel Cormier in.
Yeah, something MMA recognizable. Let them actually like try to do something with it. Whatever. But it's just stupid. Nobody bought it. This was the bathroom break of the night. This was bad, and the crowd was quiet. Nobody cared. I heard audible, boring chants multiple times throughout this thing. Everybody kind of knew what was going to happen here. So yeah. Anyways, Jacob, what do you think of this? I know, your favorite match of the night, right? Right. Terrible.
If this is the way Ronda's going out, then sorry, Ronda. There were a couple of stiff shots, like they weren't holding back, but at the end of the day, not the match that we're going to talk about come the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Richie.
I don't want to talk about that.
Not for best of anyway. And if we don't do a worst of thing, but no. This MMA just trying to combine other combat sports and wrestling doesn't work. I was talking. I referenced when AEW tried to do it with Jake Hager and Wardlow. Those two are talented on their own, but like just in the midst of an MMA inspired match, it was boring. It didn't work. Because you just that they have to kind of like work it to they have to change the rules a bit. Yes. So if it was an MMA match, like she did, and then Shayna hit the head kick. I mean, I'm guessing also that was also an homage. Because when Ronda first got knocked out, she got knocked out by Holly Holm by a head kick. I don't. But when Shayna hit the head kick, if it was a real thing, she would either. It'd either be a clean knockout, and the referee would be like, or Shayna would pound on her. The referee's like, okay, she's had enough. But you wouldn't have refs come in and go, "Oh, are you okay?
You okay? You okay? Go to your corner while I go check on them." That's not how an MMA match works. That's not how UFC works. Yeah,
And then it's just like people. I think they're relying on the. I guess this is also due to the fact that like UFC and WWE are under that one banner, so they're trying out some certain things. Like the Endeavor thing, but like if these two chicks are badass, just have like a street fight or something. I don't know, like have that kind of thing. It just doesn't. It doesn't work. There wasn't really it's not really a clear baby face either. Because I think people want to cheer Shayna. I think she's likable, but like if Ronda's meant to be a baby face, doesn't work. She doesn't come across as likable in general. It's not a very good send off for Ronda. I'm kind of glad Shayna won, but it was the only positive side. And this match killed the crowd from probably up until the main event, even though I didn't think the main event had as much heat as it should have, and up until the end. Don't try to, don't get cute and just just keep wrestling to wrestling. I think that people go to wrestling shows to watch wrestling. Just do your wrestling match. Don't go, okay, we'll include this discipline. We'll include this discipline. No, they don't. They're not gonna. Not gonna. It's just not gonna work. So it didn't work for me at all. And this went about as well as it should have. It was just the crowd was dead, and then the crowd was dead for a while. For good matches, as we'll get on to. And I think it hurt the matches going forward for a couple of the matches, which is unfortunate. So
No, you guys have kind of already said it, man. Like who is this exactly for? You know what I mean? Like it's not that enthralling to wrestling fans. There's no way an MMA fan is watching this going like, yeah, they beat the hell out of each other. It's a good MMA match. Like it just ends up being kind of boring, kind of whatever. And this didn't enthrall me either. I don't think it enthralled anyone in my watch party. I just wish they had just a match. They're both wrestlers at this point. I wish they could have just had a match.
or just have a submission match or something that caters a little bit to the MMA style, but it's still a wrestling match. Like do a submission match or something. Yeah, tap out only or something, and make somebody tap out. Like it's like I don't know.
And there's this weird hybrid that just ends up being kind of boring and kind of
Yeah, unfortunately, the crowd tried to get back for a match where I think they hit harder in this match, and it looked more real. Gunther and Drew McIntyre. This one, I think we were all kind of excited to see this. Any combination of Gunther, Drew, Sheamus kind of combination has been pretty good so far. Well, probably not on the level, obviously as the WrestleMania match or even the Clash of the Castle match. Still a pretty good match. JPO, what'd you think of this one? Overall.
Yeah, kind of like you said, it's not quite on the level here, but I still had a lot of fun with it here. I think it added to a decent eclectic card enough. So yeah, I had fun with it again. I don't know, maybe just because I never totally bought Drew winning here. It's none of one of those kind of like foregone conclusions of I don't see why they would give it to him when we're so close to. And they even said it themselves. They mentioned the honky record themselves, which I kind of felt like, oh, okay, so you're agreeing that's kind of what you're going for. So. But otherwise, as far as the match goes, I'm definitely not going to knock it anyway. It was still a fun match.
Yeah, Reggie.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed in the match because it was good, and then I think the crowd should have had. I think that the match at WrestleMania, obviously, while it in general is just obviously going to be better, but like it benefited too because the crowd really got into it. I don't think it ever happened here. They got into it a little bit towards the end, but like not enough. And I think I blame the match prior because of that. It was just like they just took a while to get back into it, and then they became a kind of a dull crowd up until like the maybe up to the world title match a little bit, but like they're still kind of. Yeah, I like these two, work well together, and it's a good house match. I like it, but it's almost like too. Like I felt like they, a bit shorter than I thought it was going to be. Maybe I know Triple H says nothing got got cut and whatever, but I don't know. I just felt it could have gone a bit longer. I didn't know. I didn't think it was as foregone as other people. I mean, as when they mentioned the honky tonk thing, I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm sort of with Jordan. I'm like, maybe if you didn't mention that, I'd be like, oh, okay, there's a chance that Drew could win because, he still in the midst of negotiating a new contract. They might want to sweeten the deal, give him an Intercontinental run. Again, it's probably obvious now that he's at least holding it to a WrestleMania. I subscribe to the idea that it maybe should be Dragunov that finally beats him. That would be a great WrestleMania match, but. Yeah, it's a good match, but and I wasn't expecting it to be better than the Clash of the Castle match or even the even the WrestleMania match. It still was maybe a bit below my expectations, but it was still decent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jacob.
Yeah, I can see why people would be if the crowd, could definitely help with the enjoyment of a match, and they were a little bit. Whatever. But I think, this match, I think it delivered exactly what we were expecting. It was two, big guys just beating the crap out of each other. I got what I wanted. The right guy won. Let him at least break the record, and then I don't know how long after that he loses it, but, as long as they build up the right guy, I'm all for it because I think Gunther he should be your 2024 Royal Rumble winner. I'm on the Gunther train. Gunther, Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Anybody? I'm all for that. If Seth Rollins holds the belt that long, I'm that's kind of what I want now. So
this match was still a good house fight. Yeah, like I said, not quite as good as epic as the Clash match or the WrestleMania match, but still good. When those two guys are just standing in the middle of the ring, just chopping the hell out of each other. You can't help but smile. That's good stuff. Just good. I like the finishing sequence where Gunther just hit him with a couple of big moves in a row. Put him down. I think it worked without killing Drew. I still think Drew looked good. He had a couple of claymores. He still looked pretty solid. Gunther they made him look like an unstoppable monster. And who's the only guy that's beaten the unstoppable monster? A certain guy that's still in NXT right now. And I stick to that. The guy that can take a beating and keep on coming. So, I still subscribe to that theory eventually.
I mean, Chad Gable also went 5 minutes with him. So,
that's pretty good.
I wouldn't mind like a full match of Chad Gable and Gunther maybe at the next pay-per-view.
I could see that. Like you can do a pay-per-view with them, and obviously it's a foregone collision, probably who would win. But they'd put in a good match.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
it's on the level of a
the next
Mustafa
one is what?
Ali.
The next one's what? Payback. So I mean, that's not like a big pay-per-view. So
Yeah,
you can really
I'd
have a
be
lower
fine with
match.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Gunther's looking for payback on Chad Gable for making them look
There you
silly.
go. Sure, why not? Yeah, that could work. But yeah, anything with Gunther, just be the snot of the people I'm down for right now. He's usually one of the better matches of the show. Speaking of probably one of the better matches of the show, with a finish we'll talk about, Seth Rollins defeating Finn Balor. I think most people agree this is still one of the better matches on the show. These guys put on a nice performance here. Crowd, they got the crowd back a little bit for this one, Richie. I think the crowd got into it by the end, especially when it looked like there was that sequence where Finn hit the coup de grace and people maybe thought he was going to win the title there. I thought there was going to be a title change. The crowd was into that, and then he didn't. But yeah, we had yet another. Damian Priest comes out, with the briefcase. We don't know what he's going to do. Dominic and Rhea are out there, kind of around ringside, and there's kind of this back and forth where it's like, no, I'm trying to give you the briefcase so you can use it against him. Oh no, what are you trying to cash in on me? Like a misunderstanding. Like, what are you doing? No, I want you to use the briefcase. And like kind of a back and forth. Miscommunication between those two there. Seth is able to hit a curb stomp on the briefcase on Finn and get the win while the referee was with Ripley. So, but yeah, Jacob, what'd you think of this title match here?
Yeah, this was a decent match. I'm kind of digging the dissension that we're seeing be teased between Judgment Day, whether that's Rhea and Dom go off and do their own thing, and then Finn and Damian kind of do something. I don't know, but yeah, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, I think they're two. Like, I think they could just have good matches any day of the week. Just put them against each other, and I'm good with it because kind of switching the roles from 7 years ago, where Seth was the heel and Finn was the face. I think Finn came into this with a chip on his shoulder. He wanted to right the wrong that was 7 years ago, and I think they told a good story in this one too. I like the 7 that he had kind of written across the shoulder. I mean, if you think WWE doesn't do long-term storytelling, just look at this match.
I think they remember things when it's convenient for them to remember things.
Well, I think they're getting better at it too with Triple H and everything.
Yeah. It took me a while to realize what the 7 meant. I was dumb. I was like, do they really want to remember that Dustin Rhodes character from WCW?
The Dustin Rhodes, Jesus.
That was bad.
They're just a big David Fincher fan.
Yeah, you gotta pay homage to wherever you can.
Yeah. Richie?
This match was really good. It did get the crowd going. Although I think it was going to get the crowd going regardless, because I just like singing that chant. Sometimes I don't know if I'm being an old curmudgeon dude. Sometimes that chant gets annoying.
I think I'm usually over it by the time Seth is just standing in the middle of the ring and the music's not on and they're still doing it. I'm like, okay, can we get the match going now? I don't mind it during the entrance, him doing his entrance, blah blah blah. But when he's just standing there and they're still doing it for like 2 minutes, I'm like, all right, can we just get to the match now?
I don't think this, but sometimes when like Ty Dillinger was insane there with the 10 chant. I was like, sometimes I was like, is he over or is the chant over? Sometimes I was like, that was Seth. I don't think that anymore. But yeah, it's like,
I do wonder that a tiny bit about LA Knight though. People love to say but
yeah.
Is he over with his wrestling yet? Yeah, it's kind of yet to be seen. Like if he has like a long title match for something, is he going to be?
I mean, he does get one of the loudest pops of the night when his music hits. So
yeah,
because I don't think we're just getting that excited,
dude. Yeah. No.
But yeah, so it's a really good match. I was like, I don't know, like, what if Damian Priest was to cash it, wouldn't he just go to the referee? Hey, I'm cashing. Like, why would Finn go? Oh, you cashing?
He wouldn't go up to Finn Balor and hand him.
He wouldn't go up to Finn Balor. Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, no. Io Sky did it correctly. She went over to the referee and said, "Here's my briefcase. I'm doing this now." Yeah, that's what you do.
Like, you look like an idiot. But because of the prediction thing, I was like, afterwards, I'm like, attack him. Go right there, attack that. I'm like, no. It's a really good match. They have good chemistry. I do hope like Finn stays up in the upper echelon. I think he will, because I think at the end of the day, I think Triple H sees more in Finn than maybe Vince did. And yeah, he's a good heel. But yeah, I could still see Damian Priest cash in successfully at some point here, and maybe with like Finn involved, maybe they do a triple threat match at some point. Yeah. And remember, I know Pez probably won't remember, but like they subtly teased that maybe like Grayson Waller might be part of Judgment Day at some point. Oh, not Grayson Waller. Jordan Devlin, JD McDonough.
JD McDonough.
And he was. It was like, okay, is it still going to happen? But he was just like a random body in the battle royal, and he got eliminated second.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, is that experiment over before he even started doing it? They still do those
I
things
think
where it's
so.
like they still do those things where it's like we praise like how good Triple H is doing, but yeah, like there's still like there's people who got drafted who are like just nothing. Like remember like, Apollo Crews came back from NXT, now he's just a dude again.
Yeah, did his feud with Dolph Ziggler even go anywhere?
No, yeah, I don't think so. Don't think so. So yeah, I mean, and like yeah, so I mean, I'd like JD McDonough to get a push. He's really good, but yeah. But I don't know. But yeah, so this match is really good. Probably one of the better matches on the show, but that was expected. These two are the best wrestlers in the company. It'd be interesting where they go from here. Could see a situation where they maybe have somehow where they have all the belts or something. So yeah. And especially considering maybe you vacate the tag titles at some point because like Kevin Owens is injured. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Hey, if Roman can wait between WrestleMania and SummerSlam to defend his title,
yeah,
Owens can wait a couple more weeks.
I mentioned this on the other show, but yeah, the women's tag titles are going to be vacated again because they're cursed because Sonya Deville is injured. Because that just has to happen. I don't know why you have women's tag titles at this point, but anyway.
Or tag titles right now.
Well, don't say that.
I know. I just thought.
What do you think of this title match, though, JPO?
No, so overall, like these two are going to have a bad match. These two are always going to have a good match. We saw it a few years ago. We saw it last night. So I'm happy with all that. I did think they kind of told the same story though that we've been seeing mixed up between these two. I really, really wish, and I think the juicier story would have been Finn getting it than just this now. So that's kind of like my only thing here. I kind of, to me, shows you the lack of roster they have as well because, why did they have Finn job twice? I don't know. I just little things like that. But overall, as far as match quality, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, for as much as I predicted Seth Rollins winning and he won, I kind of thought, your theory about the more interesting story here, JPO, would be if Finn Balor wins the title and then he's constantly watching his back with Damian Priest the ringside all the time, always watching his back every time he puts the title on the line, and Damian is out there like cheering him on, but at any second, even if he walks close to a referee or to ringside, being like, "Hey, wait a minute, you're gonna cash in on me? What are you doing?" That could be like a paranoia storyline. You know what I mean? Like paranoia.
Create a fun dynamic and like.
Yeah,
I want this to be the opposite of the Roman title, where like let's have a little fun with it. Like, Finn hasn't sniffed a title since 7 years ago. I really kind of wanted him to win it.
And have everybody in the faction other than Damian could have a belt, and Damian could be the one without one. But he's got like that that ace in the hole of like, but I can take and then your belts like anytime I want. Like I like you gotta watch your back. Like it could be a fun storyline. I don't know if they'll ever do that. We'll see. But
they gave Finn an NXT title run a few years ago. It's not like he's been without a title for that
world title, buddy. World title.
hey, it's the main
real belts.
Main title, the real world championship.
The real world championship.
The real.
I got my own problems with that. Yeah. Oh my god.
But anyways, moving on to we'll get to an actual cash in a second. But before that, we had to actually have the actual 3-way triple threat match. Bianca Belair going over, which none of us predicted, Charlotte Flair and Asuka. Granted, it was only for about 2 minutes, but she did officially win that match and win the title again, in this 3-way. But then, like we said, right afterwards, Io Sky came out and cashed in on Bianca and defeated her. Kind of a two for here. We can talk about both of them. I'll flash back and forth. But Jacob, what do you think of this whole women's encounter here? We'll just call it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at the final outcome. I am surprised that Bianca won because I don't think any of us saw that coming. Like she just lost it after a year long. It's like, hey, you don't need it again so soon. So we didn't even if the cash in was going to happen, it's like you don't need a third or fourth title reign added to your resume right now. Charlotte always seems like the safe pick when when she's in a title match. Um, and so I think I even picked Charlotte. Yeah, I did because um, she just seems to be the one that always gets cashed in on too. Carmella cashed in on her. I think Nikki cashed in on her. So I thought let's just keep that trend going. But yeah, now I'm curious to see where they go with it. Is Io going to feud with Bianca? Like, hey, you took this from me. Is Asuka going to be involved somehow? Because I think Asuka and Io could be a fantastic match. We've already seen Io and Bianca, and while that match was good, like, I kind of want to see something different. As far as this match itself, like, yeah, these are three of the better performers in the women's division, and yeah, this match didn't disappoint. I thought it was good. So yeah, happy with the cash in. Called it. So I'm happy that Io is finally a champion. But it was interesting because WWE posted something where Bailey had mentioned that she was leaving SummerSlam with the championship, and she's like, "Oh no, well at least Io is." So I wonder if there's going to be like a tease there, like maybe an evolution thing.
They've been kind of doing that for a while. It's kind of like Christian and Luchasaurus. Like Bailey's almost like taking credit for it already, you know?
Yeah, but I'm wondering if like Bailey's actually going to turn on Io. Because it's like an evolution thing from when Randy won the title. Like, hey, no, this is supposed to be mine. So good action here, and then like there's several ways they could go. So I'm excited to see what the future of this title is.
Yeah, Richie.
Yeah, I like the match enough. I think the match suffered from lack of heat again. Maybe the crowd was like, they got up there for a bit for the world title match, and then they went back down. And this match, these women worked really hard, and they put on a decent match, but the crowd didn't feel like they gave a shit until the cash in, and because the cash in will always pop a crowd. Yeah, they worked really hard. I wasn't expecting Bianca to win, like obviously all of us did. I thought the finish was unique with the figure eight and then the pin. I don't know. I feel like it made Asuka look like an idiot somewhat. I just sort of get she's in the driver's seat and then just gets randomly rolled up. I'm like, I remember when Asuka was like a dominant force, and now she's just getting randomly getting pinned while someone's already in a submission. But I don't know. I guess they wanted like a clear cut baby face for Io to get for Io to go over on, but I don't want to go for Io and Bianca. We've seen that, and I think Bianca is at risk of being overexposed and maybe getting backlash from that. And just because it's like I don't know, like I think she might fit in with that heel group on. With Bobby Lashley and Street Profits, because I don't know, like they do like to push her, and she's really talented, but I think she's just getting a bit stale. And yeah, I do prefer the Bailey Io sort of angle, and I think there's different ways you can go there. But I do hope they don't forget Asuka, because I feel like they've been hot and cold with her the last few years, and she's still one of the top women in the company. And yeah, and her and Asuka will be good. Another factor that'd be good, and maybe they can throw her in there. Should talk about. It was announced that Kairi Sane's coming back to WWE at some point, so they might be able to throw her in there at some point too. So that'd be kind of cool to see them involved, because they were all tag partners together in Stardom. So yeah, there's got good directions, but I hope they don't go to the well of Bianca and Io as a program for like months, because we've seen that. I'm ready to sort of take a break from Bianca being like in the top program, or just maybe just do something different with Bianca. I think she's talented, but just getting stale.
JPO?
No, overall, again, good match. Again, kind of up there with the match of the night, quite possibly. Like kind of like you said, I didn't really think about what really stood out as match of the night for me here. But they all had good matches. I figured they would. I think in retrospect, it does make sense with the cash in being on Bianca, because now you have once again kind of Bianca the first, Becky kind of ended her one reign kind of quickly at SummerSlam. You could definitely use this as motivation for a heel turn. Like, God damn it, I get the title back, and here's this cash-in bullshit. So, like, I kind of hope they use that as the potential heel turn because my only problem with Bianca's run towards the end was it just felt a little stalish. Like, I was kind of already done with her being a face. So I think a heel turn could quite do her well. And she's proven in NXT and other places that she can be a really good heel. And we really haven't seen that side of her in quite a while. So I think hopefully that's good motivation for that. And and otherwise too, like I'm always gonna be down. Io Sky's really talented, so let's see what she does with the title. I wouldn't be surprised if it does it sooner or later. Face turn for her. Maybe a feud with Bayley would be kind of cool too. But we'll see. So far, I'm relatively happy with this.
Yeah, I thought the match was all right. I thought it dragged a little bit near the end. I was kind of ready for it to wrap it up, but they had some good spots near the end, and the crowd definitely picked up, obviously, for the cash in. They were happy to see Io come out and win it. Cash ins are always exciting when they actually happen, not when they tease them, 100 times, but when they actually happen, it's fun. Not bad. I thought it was decent, but the show was like. I mean, what did this start like 3 hours and 40 minutes into the show? It was like, all right, can we or it ended something like, I don't know, whatever. It was long. This match was in the third hour. And
again,
the main event,
I know I'm being a dead horse to a degree, but that's why I hate Peacock, man, because no matter what, you're going to have commercials and you're already extending the show by like half an hour easily just with that.
Yeah.
Because they have to cut to commercials.
Yeah, and the replay, I was at least able to skip through a lot of that BS in between, like the packages.
Oh, good. So you can't do that shit when you're watching live.
Yeah, not when you're watching live. Yeah, it sucks, and I know it feels like it's long. But I still think the show didn't need to be 4 hours. I think you could have done all this in 3 hours, like pretty easily, as we'll see. I think especially this main event, which was a...
Yeah, you cut a little bit of this,
which was a 20-minute match stretched out to 36 minutes or whatever, 100%.
Yeah.
This match was very, very long. Roman Reigns defeated Jey Uso in tribal combat, which, by the way, people were reminded on Twitter with screenshots. Supposedly, tribal combat meant like no DQ, anything goes, but no interference. And that definitely didn't happen in this match. So, I guess that we just ignore that. Oh, okay. As we saw, Solo Sikoa obviously got involved. They beat up Jay for a little while. And then, the big story of this match, which we'll talk about our thoughts on the actual, finish where, Jimmy Uso clocked Jay and led to Roman Reigns spearing him through a table and winning. We'll get everybody's thoughts on that. But Jacob, what did you think of the match and then the finish here?
I thought the match was good for about 2/3.
Yeah.
And then it started to drag, and I think I was also kind of checked out almost at this point because the show was long, and usually I don't mind the longer shows, but maybe because I was watching on the replay and it was later than usual, I was kind of checked out. Maybe rewatching this match will change my opinion of it, but I think it went on a little too long, and then that finish. I want them to make it make sense because right now it doesn't. If they could make it make sense, then I'm okay with it. If they don't make it make sense, then I think this could be one of the worst. Well, not like matches, but as far as like finishes go, it could be one of the worst finishes to a SummerSlam main event that I've seen anyway. I haven't seen all the main events. I can't speak on all of them, but
well, Michael Cole, by the way, said something at the end of the Logan Paul match that I think kind of carried through a lot of the show, where he goes, "That match was great, but this finish sucked. The ending sucked." And you know what? Well, you're a nice prophet there, Michael Cole, because the boy was at the story of this main event. So, Richie, what you think of all that?
I don't have as much issue with finishes as some others, but there is definitely a question mark there, and if they explain it all right, then I'll look. I'm with you. I like the match for the most part, but it did drag. There was one moment, I don't think no people caught it. It was really funny, where Jey Uso, I think, is setting up a table, and he kind of suddenly asked Paul Heyman, "Hey, can you want to help here?" And Paul Heyman, I swear to God, he says this. He goes, "No, I'm not Devon." I laughed so hard. I was like, he caught that on camera. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, but I like I don't know. I did enjoy the match, but yeah, there was a lot of like, Roman posturing to the crowd and like, just and like trying to get them into, and they were into it for the most part, but like, and yeah, a lot of Roman posturing to the crowd and just slow plotting, and then it picked up for a bit there, and then obviously you had Jimmy turning on him, but it was just like, if it wasn't clear. Okay, if they try to say that on SmackDown, if they try to say Jimmy is back with the Bloodline, that doesn't make sense. You've done a lot of shit.
Doesn't make sense at all. Yeah,
that doesn't make sense. But if he's not, if he just did it on his own volition and is like sort of like jealous, like okay, well I turned on the Bloodline too, and I stood up myself, but you're getting the title shots. And you're being main event Jey Uso. I'm just like sort of this.
I think they're doing that because I feel like Roman leaving looked kind of like who?
Your main event Jey Uso. Who am I? I'm just like I'm just a kind of a, I'm just saddled. I'm just like kind of the secondary guy. And they kind of said, they said in interviews, they probably gave us away. They said in interviews that they would love to have a match at WrestleMania against each other, with maybe Rikishi being the referee. They might be going that route. I don't know.
Well, doing a sort of WrestleMania 2000 thing where they had a McMahon in every corner, where if it's like, a tribal member in each corner, and it's like a 4-way, Roman, Solo, Jimmy, and Jay all going for the title. Like, with Rikishi or somebody involved. Maybe not as a referee, but like an outside enforcer, sort of like Ricky Steamboat on Collision, Like, I don't know if one is the actual referee, but he could be like, there, doing something.
Yeah.
I think you can still do the Usos at WrestleMania without doing this. I mean, you had Ray and Eddie were tag team champions, and they've opened WrestleMania 21. Like they've done it before.
I just think that it is. There is more. It's more intriguing if you got to. I do find it more intriguing if there's a face heel dynamic. Because sometimes like brothers going against each other, even if there's no clear babyface heel, it doesn't work. They tried to do Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy a lot of times. They just didn't mesh, especially the Vengeance match in 2001. Not a very good match. But
that's why they didn't do another singles match for years.
So they talk about it in their book and they shit on it.
The only brothers that ever had great matches all the time against each other were the Briscoes. Mark and Jay always had really good matches against each other. But that was
Owen and Brett.
I mean, sure, Owen and Brett.
But like
me and my brother in my living room, 5-star bangers, man.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm saying I'm not as sour. I'm not as sour on the finish as other people, because I think the explanation would be like like he's the whole, it's the cliche. Oh yeah, the jealousy of like your brother having more success than you. Like they've done that. They've done it a few times with with things. So I'm like, okay, it makes sense in that regard. And then like so that way the Usos can sort of they can circle back around to the Roman Reigns eventually, and then they can go through their own thing, and that frees up Roman for something else, and then Roman and Cody or Roman or whatever. So I'm not totally against it, but if I would have I mean, if it was me, I'd have Jey Uso win. But I understand the story they're telling.
Yeah, JPO.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Kitty. No, this is like it's we're in a big long soap opera like story. And we're just still not there. And like I said, I'm definitely intrigued in the explanation. As far as the match, I did enjoy the match. Yeah, this, like you said, maybe this is the prime example could have been cut a little bit as far as time wise. But overall, they told a good story here. It's just a matter of it's another. All right, Roman won via interference. Even if it wasn't Roman's idea, it's still very much a little bit of a retread. Too much of just what we've seen for the last couple of years, where a little bit of a whimper of an ending. That I'm quite curious as to how they're going to explain.
Yeah, nobody's finished their story yet. Cody hasn't finished his story. Jay didn't finish his story. Jimmy didn't finish his story.
Or Solo didn't either, because he looks like he's fitting babyface.
So like, it's getting to the point where it's like, how many combinations of this storyline can we do before the people are kind of like, all right, where's the ending? Before we move on to something else, and I get they want to keep stretching and stretching and stretching, but yeah, I think that you're in danger of. I could feel the crowd even at the end of that being like, "Huh? Are you just like swerving again, just to swerve? Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Like, are we just doing that just to stretch it out for another 2 or 3 shows? Like they're kind of. I think people are still into the storyline, but it's like we're kind of ready for it to start like getting to a conclusion and like moving on to another one and starting some new chapters. Either as somebody as champion or whatever. But yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. Obviously on starting with the next couple of Smackdowns, but yeah, obviously I guess there's a Jimmy J thing coming soon, and then yeah, maybe a 4-way. I don't know, bloodline blow off, 4-way kind of a thing. We'll see. But yeah, so we'll just move on to kind of our last kind of final thoughts and scores about SummerSlam. Usual out of 10. Jacob, out of 10, what would you give this one overall? Overall? Get muted. There you go.
Torn because I think there was some really good things, but then there were some pretty low lows. Shayna, Ronda, the finish to the main event. But I still think overall it was decent. Yeah, I think Cody Brock told a good story. Logan Ricochet was a great way to kick off. Io cashing in. Kind of between I'm like at a 7.5, 7.75, somewhere in that range.
Okay. Richie?
Yeah, it's sort of a mixed bag for me. I'm a bit disappointed in the sense that, like, I was hoping some of those matches would at least like sort of be candidates for talked about at the end of the year for match the year or whatever. But like none of these really sort of came close. So they're decent. Most matches are decent, but not blow away. They're entertaining. And then you had that one real kind of damper with the Ronda Shayna, which just booked terribly. So. It's not going to, and overall, it's not going to be that memorable of a SummerSlam at the end of the day, I don't think. Yeah, and I think the finish of the main event, even though I don't have much of an issue with it, because it led so much questions and answers and just had people confused, I think, it's probably going to leaves people with a bit of a whimper. So yeah, I just think it's a middle of the road SummerSlam. I'll go 5.5.
JPO?
Yeah, I had a good time watching it, so I'm gonna go a little higher and say maybe like a solid 7. There's problems I have with it and things I wanted more from, and there isn't really like a clear cut like, oh, that was the shiznit either. So, but I still had a good time with what was given. So,
yeah, I'm kind of in the same area. I'm gonna go like a 6.5 because I think there's good enough matches on here to where in a vacuum, a lot of these matches are pretty good. Overall, some wonky finishes. I think if you watch it as a whole, the show kind of dragged. Again, doing these 4-hour pay-per-views for 7-8 matches total is like too much. Like you're there's a lot of stretching, a lot of downtime. And it's like, yeah, when we're getting to the main event at the 3-hour and 40-minute mark or whatever, that's too much. Yeah, I still think they need to tighten this up a little bit. At least with AEW, I'll give AEW credit. They do a lot of matches, but at least they keep the show moving. Like they don't do a lot of in between nonsense. Their video packages are like a minute, long. Do a quick backstage thing or a promo and move it along or something, and then they keep it moving. So I'll at least give them credit for that. Yeah, the WWE show kind of feels like they're just stretching just to stretch. So yeah, but that's it. So for SummerSlam. So Jacob, did you have something for us, or should I first announce what we're going to do next week, or how do you want to do it?
Why don't you go ahead and announce first?
So yeah, it's time to book next week's show. We got a little bit of downtime because we got we're doing the show early this week, obviously, so we don't have anything till next the following Thursday, I'm guessing, right? And it's kind of a dead week because there's no prediction shows till the following week for Wembley, so not going on. So I was going to propose two kind of little things, if it's okay. I was going to put 2 fun things. So I'm not going to give you guys a bad show. I'm going to give you guys a good show that I've been wanting to revisit for a long time. So I think we revisit and do a retro review of Vengeance 2005. which is highly touted as one of the more underrated sort of brand pay-per-views from that era.
Is that the Hell in a Cell between Batista and?
That is the Batista Triple H Hell in a Cell blow off to their thing, which is supposedly pretty good. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It has a WrestleMania rematch of Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels. So that should always be good. Those guys always had bangers. It has a 3-way for the WWE title: John Cena, Chris Jericho, and Christian. So that should be pretty good. And it's Carlito and Shelton Benjamin. There's some good stuff on the undercard. So I want to revisit this pay-per-view. So we'll do Vengeance 2005. And since we're kind of heading into that season of WWE, and Vengeance was around that time, where we kind of do these smaller sort of pay-per-views, but could still have potential to be good. I figured that fits right in. And if you guys are down for it, I want to do a mini draft. So not a huge draft, but a mini draft that I'm thinking about. And I bounced this idea off with Jacob as well, where we draft 12 slots. We draft 10 wrestlers, 1 manager / valet, and 1 backstage interviewer for a wrestlers on the mic draft.
Oh, yeah. Like good wrestlers on the mic.
So just people for their promo skills and their mic skills, not necessarily whether or not you think they're a great wrestler or not. They don't even have to be. They can just be good on the mic. So you draft 10 wrestlers, male or female wrestlers. Like I said, 1 manager / valet position, for strictly a manager valet, and then 1 person to conduct your backstage interviews, as well. So yeah, just a quick little mini draft of wrestlers on the mic, because I think I started doing some research for it. I don't think there's enough to do like 20 or something. Like I think 10's reasonable, because I've got like maybe 35 or 40 potentials on my nomination that I played around with a few weeks ago. So yeah, not too much, but I think it'd be a fun little mini draft, just a quick one that would only take like a half an hour or so.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then we'll do a Vengeance 2005 review. So again, we got time to watch it. We got about a week and a half. Before we get there, so plenty of time to do that. So that's what we do in the in-between, and then the week after, obviously, we'll do Wembley predictions, and I'll bring you guys a live report of Dynamite Rampage that week as well.
You're going to Wembley?
No, not quite. I wish, but no, that's a little pricey. I'm not going to Wembley, but yeah, that should be fun. So yeah, other than that, Jacob, what you got for us, man? You got something fun?
I do. I have 20 questions for you guys.
Ooh, on the fly, yeah.
And there's a potential. Oh, what would that be? A potential 34 points, though.
Oh no, one of those.
You'll see. You'll see why.
So,
does everyone have something to write with?
I was gonna make a quick banner. I'll put that on the ticker down here. Yeah, there we go. All right.
JPO is grabbing.
Yeah, I gotta grab that board. So there's some multi questions here. I feel.
I was taking a note on my phone real quick.
Yeah.
Maybe just one. We'll see.
All right.
He's Googling answers right now that he doesn't even know.
I was saving next week's episode. So
Yeah.
Got my oversized board. I forgot. I'm in a different room now.
Right.
All right. Question number 1.
Right.
You may realize soon that I am going kind of chronologically.
Chronologically,
We will start at the beginning. Question number 1. Who was the special guest referee in the main event of SummerSlam 1988?
I feel like I was just looking at this.
I was watching the Parts Fun Known channel, and they do their survival series where they do something in chronological order, and they did the SummerSlam main events, and only one of them was able to do them all. Was
that Tempest?
No, it was he hosts.
Tempest is the host, Richie. Get your shit straight.
It was Adam
Blampier.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't watch that. I watch. Yeah, I don't watch that series.
No, that's a great series.
2, 1. Pens down, please. Austin.
Billy Graham.
JPO.
Oh shit! Billy Graham 2.0 was Jesse Ventura.
And Richie.
The referee for Collision, Ricky Steinberg.
Correct answer is Jesse Ventura.
Oh yeah, I thought he did both.
Damn. He did another one later.
He's definitely in the late 90s, but I thought he did the early 80s too,
Alright.
or late 80s.
Question number 2. What was the only title to be defended at SummerSlam 1989? Only one.
I lucked out on this question earlier. Someone asked a similar question. So I
4,
luck out twice.
3, 2, 1. Pens down, please. JPO.
I see.
You see what?
UP.
Gross. Richie.
I think you might be right. I said the tag titles.
And Austin.
I
I
guess
said Intercontinental.
It was the Intercontinental.
Yeah.
Twice in a row tonight.
Having a bad run of trivia
I
today.
didn't. If that was a question on
No, just the same word, same like what title was the only different on this paper? Completely different paper though.
oh
Yeah.
And I guess both times is what I'm saying. I looked out twice.
oh nice. All right. Question number 3. The WWF Championship was defended for the first time at SummerSlam 1990 when Ultimate Warrior defended it against who? A bonus point if you can name what type of match it was. So a point for the opponent and a point for the match type. So a potential 2 points here. I'm not going to say you have to get the opponent in order to get the bonus point. Just 2 points are available. Ultimate Warrior, who was in a negative 5-star match with Hulk Hogan once upon a time.
He sure was. I asked about that. Worst
I
match.
know, I got it right.
It's a
I wonder if
bad
I watch that
match.
match back now. If it's
Five.
still
It's that bad. It is
4.
that bad. It's horrible.
3, 2, 1. Pens down. Richie.
I don't know. I said Randy Savage Cage.
Oh, you're halfway there. Austin.
I said Rick Rude Cage.
You might be all the way there. JPO.
Am I too then? Rick Rude in the cage?
You also are. It is Rick
Yeah.
Rude in a steel cage.
Hey.
I did 0 studying. I'm surprised I got some of this back knowledge somewhere.
I looked at some posters. That's all I looked at. some here's the matches. Blah blah blah.
I had
Like,
the
tagline.
anthology. I know I've
Yeah.
seen them.
Yeah, because I was busy prepping some banners for my thing. So, but I pulled up some. Yeah.
Once you get past 97, I'm gonna crush.
Oh, we'll get there soon.
Crush
now-
is out of the WWF by 96.
Question number 4. The Legion of Doom defeated what tag team in the opening match of SummerSlam 1992? Speaking of Wembley.
Don't give it away.
Hmm?
I feel like no.
Nah.
I used to have a T-shirt. It's from like one of those bootleg companies, like Brett and Bulldog from 1992. But it was Bulldog's outline from like late 90s. It really bothered me because it was long haired Bulldog.
1 down. Austin.
The Heart Foundation.
JPO.
Nasty Boys?
Richie.
I said Demolition.
Dirty Sweep. Looking for Money Inc.
Aw, man.
Money Inc.
Yeah.
Question number 5. Who portrayed a fake Undertaker at SummerSlam 1994?
I might know.
Now you're speaking my language.
You're speaking my language. Hit this man. Give me what you man.
Is there another question you ask about SummerSlam 1994?
Leslie Nielsen, who's been living that right.
I'm on the case.
Cage
I'm on it.
match for Brett and Owen. And then that's about it. Yeah.
2, 1. JPO.
I don't know what you wanted. Brian Lee, Chains.
Brian Lee is. Yeah. That's. Oh, yeah. Richie
Yeah, I said Brian Lee.
and Austin.
Yeah, ECW alumni Brian Lee. Yes.
Brian Lee is the answer I had.
Who is shorter than Undertaker.
You can see it on the 94 SummerSlam pay-per-view.
Yeah, he might have had lifts in his shoes.
Not enough. Like I'm pretty sure you can tell. Like when they're total.
Yeah,
like,
he's like
That's
6'3", and
exciting.
Undertaker's like 6'9" or 6'10".
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit short.
Yeah, dude's not the same.
Yeah.
Question number 6. Who did Shawn Michaels defend the WWF Championship against at SummerSlam 1996?
I think.
Wait, you mean 95?
No.
Oh, you just skipped that one.
Intercontinental?
No. Who did Shawn
Right,
Michaels?
I'm sorry. Repeat the question. I missed the question.
Who did Shawn Michaels defend the WWF Championship against at SummerSlam 1996?
I heard Intercontinental. My bad.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't want to do. I couldn't do all the SummerSlams because I didn't want to
No,
write
yeah.
35
I
questions.
feels you. Why I got confused.
Yep. So I'm just saying I went chronologically. It's in. Yeah, I'm not going back.
Chronicle what calls on there?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Richie,
Was this match where he got pissed at Vader?
maybe. Awesome.
I was gonna say the match where Jim Cornette talks about how Vader got dejected by Shawn Michaels. throughout the match.
Maybe. JPO.
Wait.
Technically,
Shawn Michaels kicked him in the face.
it is Vader time.
Yeah, and he's like, "If you ever do that to me again, I'll put you out of this business." Yeah.
I think he
Cornette
stomps
talks
on his
about
head too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question number 7. Who is the Intercontinental Champion heading into SummerSlam 1997?
7.
This is where I stopped looking at posters. I think I moved on.
I
to
don't know.
something else.
I don't think this person's probably on the poster.
I know. That's where I stopped looking at like stuff.
5,
I didn't really study
4.
this.
3, 2, 1. Hands down, please. Austin.
It's a Triple H.
JPO.
I did it for The Rock.
And Richie.
Yeah, Rocky Maivia.
Dirty sweep again. We're looking for Owen Hart. This was the Owen Austin.
Oh, duh!
No, shit. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know where you can get that.
Oh, where he broke
Yeah.
Steve Austin's neck. Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking roll up.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think me and Richie used Mania logic. That's what this.
Yeah. Question number 8. What was this? Speaking of The Rock, what was the stipulation for the match between The Rock and Billy Gunn at SummerSlam 1999? Basically, it was a blank match.
I'm still waiting for versus Triple H in '98.
Yeah.
Not this one.
How did I? I did skip 98. Yeah.
Okay, ladder match.
That's one of the ones I've seen the most. I was ready for '98's question.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good match.
Yeah, the
I-
Madison Square Garden '98.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Don't know where I stop. I'll just go to JPO first.
Kiss my ass.
Maybe. Richie.
Oh.
Kiss my ass match.
I don't remember that
Maybe.
at all. I'm way off. I said strap match.
I believe he had The Rock and Triple H had a strap match
Yeah.
sometime previously, so you're not far off actually. But it is kiss my ass.
Doesn't he just like? Don't they save it for like SmackDown where he brings out like a fat white woman or something like that?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Pretty
is
sure
all-
that's what ends up happening.
This was all from Wikipedia. To be honest.
Wiki.
Question number 8. So question number 9. What title was on the line in the main event of SummerSlam 2001?
Excuse me.
This is one of those technicalities that I like.
Yeah, I think Pez just helped me. All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, and a 1. Richie.
It was Rock versus Booker T, WCW Championship.
I just asked for the championship. I didn't ask for the competitors.
I-
Thanks for showing off. Austin.
Yeah, I remember it was a goofy thing where Rock and Booker T went on last for the WCW title.
And JPO.
You guys said we ruled.
Yeah.
Clean sweep. I wasn't sure how that one was going to go.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because the finish of that Stone Cold Kurt Angle match is like a DQ, like it's a bad finish. So like they had.
Oh yeah, just to get back to.
Yeah, it ended up being like it was a good match but a bad finish. So they had Rock and Booker T go on last, and Rock went over. Yeah.
Question number 10. Who did The Undertaker defeat at SummerSlam 2002?
This is what I think it is. I think so.
SummerSlam 2002. You can hear us talk about it. I think last year, lead into SummerSlam, we talked 02.
Yeah.
Featured a match between these two others. These two. Saw the debut of this guy. Not the guy in the match, but this guy who's also on the show. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I believe Austin. We'll start with you.
Was that Test?
Maybe. JPO?
Maybe test.
Maybe. Richie?
Test.
Clean sweep again. All right, so 10 questions in. JPO sitting on 9. Austin with 7 and Richie with 6. Not too bad. Everyone had gone over half. So
Not bad. No problem.
see if it continues. Question number 11. Who was in Kurt Angle's corner for his match against Eddie Guerrero at SummerSlam 2004? Oh, you all were like so still that I thought I was frozen. It's like, shoot, what's happening?
I don't remember anyone.
5,
I don't remember anyone either.
4,
I don't remember this.
Yeah.
I remember having
3, 2, 1. Pens down, please. JPO.
Chavo Classic.
Richie
Vince McMahon. I don't know.
and Austin.
Just remember that one segment. I said Sensational Sherry.
Dirty sweep again. Roman's cousin Luther Reigns.
Oh, Luther Reigns.
Oh, I even thought about that random entourage. Okay, I figured it was something special and weird.
Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Question number 12. Who won a battle royal at SummerSlam 2007 to become the number 1 contender for the women's championship, last eliminating Michelle McCool?
There's so many battle royals.
I had to get a women's question in there. I realized I didn't have any up to this point, so I didn't want to be accused of anything. I had to show the women some love.
So you did a battle royal question, covered all your bases, covered all the women.
Yeah, just they were all there, including this person who won it. I don't know how many women she eliminated.
This
Could've been
era is
5.
where my memory gets
Could've been
very fuzzy and a lot of things run together.
Yeah.
Could have
That's why
been
we
one.
just come back because
Yeah.
Pens down. Richie,
I don't know. Melina.
Austin,
Candice Michelle.
JPO.
Layla.
Dirty sweep. Looking for Beth Phoenix.
Okay.
But all good guesses. All good guesses. All.
Fun fact: this is the era where I got really into independent wrestling and DVDs, and I wasn't watching as much WWE this time. So yeah.
Question 13. Who won the ECW championship at SummerSlam 2008, defeating Mark Henry? Show the WWE ECW title some love too. And Mark Henry, who was about way too late on his world title reign for 2011, but no, that didn't happen at SummerSlam. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Rick Sanchez.
1. Barely got it in there. You barely got it in there.
Because I just realized I got the wrong answer.
Fuck you.
You realize I got the wrong answer. And I don't know which one to do. But I don't. God.
5, 4,
Okay.
Let's go. 2,
Wrong answer.
1. Pins
Achoo.
down, please.
Shoot.
Achoo. Austin.
I said Christian.
JPO.
Matt Hardy?
Richie.
I think it is Matt Hardy because Christian. I said Christian, but I think he beat Tommy Dreamer.
Correct answer is Matt Hardy.
Yeah, God damn it. And that
I don't
scramble.
remember Matt Hardy as ECW champion ever. That's
I don't think it was for very
As a
long.
nerdy action figure collector, I do because I remember
Oh,
he came
boy.
with the one I had.
That's great.
All right. Question 14. I know someone is going to hate this question. I don't care.
I would never complain about trivia questions. So
From
never.
2009 to 2014, SummerSlam was held in the same city. What city was it?
I love location questions. Good question.
I won't complain because I don't complain about trivia questions. But,
Me too, buddy.
yeah.
Wait, what? What was that?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down, please. JPO.
LA?
Maybe? Richie.
Okay, I said Toronto.
I think that's the first city it was held after.
Damn it.
Exactly. Austin.
I said Philly.
That was Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
All right.
Only reason
Five
I know it's
years
so
in a
good because they
row?
did go every year for a while.
5 years in a row? Why?
Yeah. Only reason I know location question because it
I
was
don't know
weird.
why. I don't know why. I think they did Brooklyn for a few years in a row too.
It's weird.
Maybe. All right. Here's the big one. I'm gonna give you guys
Oh,
a lot of time for this one.
Oh,
For a total of 14 points.
What the
Or
fuck?
For an
14
era that I didn't
defensive
watch
points.
it, so this should be fun.
Name the competitors in the Team WWE versus Team Nexus match at SummerSlam 2010.
I knew
Okay.
it was gonna be this. I knew it.
All right. Okay.
As soon as you said a big pointer, this came to mind.
All right.
So it's
Say it out loud.
okay. So it's 7-on-7, right?
Yeah, 7-on-7. So 14 points. Grabs here. And 5.
Yeah.
4.
It's however many you can get in 20 seconds. And 5.
Yeah, and in the spirit of the way Austin has done a faction, I had to think of a similar way to do it, and this seemed like the only logical way to go for a big point total.
Wow, I'm gonna have to pull some shit out of my ass for the WWE team.
I think I might end up with like I think I have a few here.
Again, the year is 2010, if that is helpful.
Shit, I put on the wrong SummerSlam earlier.
All righty.
Hang on.
Me just bantering with myself so there's no dead air. Because dead air's not fun to listen to.
Yeah.
So I'll just banter again.
Alrighty, I might get to 12 or so.
Cool.
And
Okay, let me know how you feel about Cody versus Brock, because that's probably the more I think about it, that's probably my favorite match from SummerSlam this year. Just from a storytelling standpoint, I thought it was really good, and to see just a genuine moment between Cody and Brock at the end, I liked it. Probably will have you guys wrap it up here in just a few. If you ask for an extension, it's not like I'm going to extend it the amount of time you're given. That's not how this extension works.
All right.
I will hit you with a 5, 4,
I don't know. I'm just guessing at this
3, 2, 1.
Yikes.
Wrap it up. Austin, I will go
Oh,
to
boy.
you first.
All right, I'm beginning to laugh at all my answers because I don't remember people from this time
All right,
period.
so go team by team.
All right, WWE team: John Cena, The Miz, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Edge. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
You got 2.
Great, sounds good. The other team: CM Punk, Husky Harris, Mason Ryan, Ryback. That probably wasn't his name then. Justin Gabriel, Michael Tarver.
Okay. We'll talk about one of them.
Oh, all right. Did terribly. I know. Thanks.
So JPL.
Original Nexus of
Do WWE first.
Oh, okay. Daniel Bryan, John Cena, Edge, Bret Hart, Chris Jericho, R-Truth, Great Khali.
You have 6.
Yeah, fucking Khali, I got taken out. And then the original Nexus of Wade Barrett, Justin Gabriel, David Otunga, Michael Tarver, Heath Slater, Darren Young, Skip Sheffield.
All 7. Richie.
What woman to start first? So whatever.
WWE.
Okay, WWE was a bit iffy on, but Edge, Chris Jericho, Bret Hart, John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and I couldn't think of the other one, so I just said CM Punk, and then I didn't guess the other.
Okay.
And then for the Nexus, I got Michael Tarver, Wade Barrett, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, David Otunga, Skip Sheffield, and Darren Young.
All right. How do we feel about
Skip Sheffield is Ryback, isn't
Yeah,
he?
how do we feel about Ryback?
If now, just to be fair, if we're doing WWT rules, just saying if we were, I would have given it to him because you never did say like give me specific.
Then that's fair. I will give him the
point. Like the one time Pez wanted specifics, he said give me specifics. You know what I mean?
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So then with that, Austin.
Yeah, we go by human being rules usually.
Yeah.
What I do.
Cool.
Okay.
Then yeah.
Unless I say I want this gimmick.
I couldn't remember his damn name from
Next. You knew the man. You knew the man.
Remember his catchphrase, y'all?
No.
Yip.
Yip.
So Austin got 5, JPO got 13, and
who'd I miss by the way? Khali was wrong, right?
Richie got 12. The correct answers for Team WWE, it's John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Bret Hart, Edge, John Morrison, R-Truth, and Chris Jericho.
Morrison, damn.
And for Team Nexus, it is Wade Barrett, David Otunga, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, Skip Sheffield, Michael Tarver, and Darren Young.
I feel like Khali was on the team and then got like taken out, which I don't disagree with.
Because he was.
I really do have that memory of like it's either this or bragging rights, maybe.
And they might have taken him out like that.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of them booking him and then people backstage going, "What the fuck are we doing?"
Just
take him out.
You can barely concentrate with one wrestler. Don't put him in an elimination match. Yeah. No, I think that surely is what happened. They were like, "Listen, let's have a better match." Fucking put in Morrison or whatever.
All right, 5 questions left. I promised there are no more big questions like that. Question number 16. Who appeared in every main event of SummerSlam from 2015 until 2019?
I mean, he's a safe bet.
Now, this might have been helped with whatever you said Blumpy had in their talk.
Oh.
Because I think they even say, like, look who it is again.
They do, yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
4.
3.
Sound like a DJ there, Richard.
One.
There you go.
Drop the beat.
Fine.
JPO.
Brock Lesnar.
Oh, I would need you to say the answer that you wrote, so no points.
Brock.
Richie.
Yeah, I switched out Roman Reigns for Brock Lesnar.
Oh damn! Because I put Roman Reigns.
Oh,
Well, because he was Vince's guy for like that era.
No,
so
it's- yeah,
I thought it
it's-
was,
it's
yeah.
So was Brock. That dude was in every
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
And like to be fair, like isn't like 2 or 3 of them Roman as well?
I think he's
Yeah.
in. I
At
think
least
he's in a
two.
couple of them. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
2016 is.
Again, I'm not a regular watcher around this time, so I only kind of vaguely know what's going on. Yeah.
2015 is Taker. 2016 is Orton.
I was really out of the loop on WWE around this time. I was way more into UFC around this time. So
Yeah. I think
yeah.
Question number 17. Who did Dean Ambrose defend the WWE Championship against at SummerSlam 2016? I think this is the epitome of, hey, remember this match?
Can you remember? I might not remember. But do you remember?
Number?
29 September.
Five, 4, 3, 2,
Tears coming from my eyes.
1. Richie,
Dolph Ziggler.
Austin.
It's Cesaro.
I would have loved that. JPO
Would have been probably more intriguing than Dolph Ziggler.
was Dolph Ziggler.
You said remember this, so I knew it wasn't Brock Lesnar. Because I almost put that. I was like, well, that wouldn't be like a random match, Like, okay. I
It was,
like,
yeah,
that'd
no,
be-
but it was still for a SummerSlam and Dolph, like, yeah, he wasn't.
yeah,
much
no,
higher
I was like, it has to be
prior.
somebody more like upper mid card.
Yeah, no, good guess.
Yeah. Okay.
We go from one Shield member to another. Who did Seth Rollins defeat in a street fight at SummerSlam 2020? Five,
God,
4,
I did not watch any of these
3,
stupid COVID shows or battle
2,
shows.
Repeat.
No, whatever you want to call it, no crowd. What do they call that stupid place with all the
the
monitors?
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome. I didn't watch any of this
Thunderdome.
bullshit.
And for your repeat,
I hate
JPO,
all
who did
this.
Seth Rollins defeat in a street fight at SummerSlam 2020?
I didn't watch any of that shit. It was too weird. I just to see people on monitors going.
Yeah.
The pipe crowd noise, because they weren't
Yeah,
out loud at home.
I didn't watch like any of this shit.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Austin.
I don't know. I guess Kevin Owens.
JPO.
Dominic?
Richie.
I think Austin might be right. Is it JPO's cousin? Is it Kevin Owens?
No, it's Dominic.
Oh, it is Dominic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dominic Mysterio. Yep.
Kevin was my second guess, and I'm like, no, but
That
they
was
did a lot of
that
pandemic
was like
shit.
before Dominic was interesting, right?
Yeah,
it
this
was.
is that. But why
Very,
is it?
very, very early Dominic.
Oh,
Should we do it
okay.
on pay-per-view? Maybe?
I think so. I think this might have been after the kendo stick attack.
Yeah.
Where
Because this is like,
Oh.
you took my dad's eye, I'm mad at you,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
This is
when
after
they-
the eye was taken
Oh
out.
yeah, when they beat his ass with a kendo stick against the ropes
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
hey, pay your dues, kid.
Yeah.
Question number 19. Who did Damian Priest defeat to become the United States champion at SummerSlam 2021? Mr. Money in the Bank. Who, probably could have been your world heavyweight champion like 3 times already, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, even after the match was done, right? I'm like, Seth's pretty beat up. Try to beat him up some more and win the match.
That's why I was
Like,
like, beat him up some more.
Yeah.
Make me win prediction.
You still got Rhea. Like,
Yo, Scott went
Why
down.
are you not
Bianca was
trying?
like, I'm able to get up 5,
the man just had a
4,
20-minute match with Finn.
3,
Fucking try.
2, 1. Hands down. JPO.
The color of his hair is my marker, Sheamus.
Richie.
Ironically, was it Finn Balor?
And
Oh shit. Was it?
A total guy, Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle's not a bad guess because he was champion
Okay.
around this time, I think, but it was Sheamus.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think maybe Sheamus took it from Riddle at WrestleMania, actually. So yeah, it was,
That sounds right. Yeah. Yeah, I knew more
And-
just like that he took it off Sheamus, and I didn't remember SummerSlam. So
And your final question. We started with a special guest referee question. We're ending with a special guest referee question because who was the special guest referee for the match between the Usos and the Street Profits? Last year.
Maybe I wrote something down before you even finished the question.
I did. I was trying to predict where he was going, and I was right. So I got it.
Well, because I remember predicting
I remember
something
we
this
talked about
match
this.
that didn't happen. That should have happened. Yeah. That was baffling why it didn't happen. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Pez has it too.
Yeah. I do remember us talking about this. Yeah.
2, 1, pens down. Richie.
There's a random addition to a special gift referee because he had no. Yeah, it's weird. Jeff Jarrett.
No, it's not random. It was in Nashville, and he had the guitar.
Yeah, but we predicted. I was like, how did nobody get hit with a guitar when Jeff Jarrett was the referee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And JPL.
Yeah.
You assume he's gonna do something. No, he's just gonna ref. He's gonna straight up be the referee.
Yeah, that's
Jeff Jarrett.
dumb. Yeah. He's going to cost somebody the match with a guitar shot, right? Or
Yeah,
after the
because
match.
all of us talking about like, what is he gonna do?
Well, either
Not
that
much.
or like somebody pisses him off, and after the match he hits somebody like something,
Yeah, something.
and then he didn't do anything, and that was weird. Why'd
He
you
was
have?
just the ref. They
And
were
then he
running
showed-
low on refs that
and
night.
then, and then how long until he showed up on AEW? Like not long after, like 2 months after, 3 months after.
Yeah.
I think it was a little
he
longer
showed-
than that, but it was but not
pretty
because I
quick.
think WWE just never really had much for him, and they put him on air.
Yeah.
And your winner with 29 points, JPO.
How many questions?
20, but there was one with 14 points. So if there was a
Oh,
total
that's
of
why I was
24
about to
points,
say like, did I get a perfect game or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got 29 out of 20.
Weird
Ten
bonus
total,
one.
34 points because there was
Perfect.
one was a 2-pointer and then a 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. Richie with 21 and Austin with 13.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you were doing really good when it was the earlier stuff, and then
Yeah,
kind of
like I
newer
said,
stuff
again,
is
that's
not-
why we might make a good team, Jacob. Because yeah, I know like earlier stuff up to a point, and then again a lot of everything after like 2008 or so, I dropped off on a lot of my watching. So a lot of that like blends together. Like early 2010s is the worst because I wasn't watching like almost at all. And a lot of that stuff just kind of blends. So
yeah, but a lot of your guesses weren't far off because you had the Kevin Owens was feuding with Seth Rollins around WrestleMania of 2020.
Yeah.
So,
No, that was like my second
Yeah,
guess.
it's
I
not-
heard the wrong ear, and I was like, "Oh, Owens Mania," and then I'm like, "No."
but yeah, that was some SummerSlam trivia, me.
Thank you, Jacob.
thanks,
Yeah,
sir.
looking forward to your payback trivia next month.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Payback.
But yeah, we are.
Study
going-
those. How many paybacks has there been? Has there been a couple?
About three,
There's been a few.
about probably 3 or probably about, there's probably like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
4 or 5, but they've been like not every year. Sort of like, oh, this year we'll do a payback. Oh, next year, right?
Let's do our dream
payback
payback
or
card.
not?
Only two per show.
Let's do a joint pay-per-view called Pay Backlash.
Payback.
We're nearly 2 hours into it, so let's go ahead and we'll start wrapping it up. Obviously, we will not do a show on Thursday because we went on
Sure
Monday. So we'll be back next Thursday with that mini draft that Austin suggested, as well as Vengeance 2005. Looking forward to watching that because that was a pretty decent show from what I remember. So it'll be fun to revisit it.
Yeah, I
But
remember
until then-
I remember watching it at a Hooters or something live, and I remember it being pretty good. And then when I look back, I see all these lists of like underrated pay-per-views you don't remember were good, and it's like that one comes up a lot. So I want to go back and rewatch it and see if it's good. So yeah,
I'm not 100% sure if I've seen it actually, but yeah, the card looks
yeah,
good.
it should be. Yeah, it's a good card. So yeah, we'll check that out. Should be good.
JPO, you are the birthday boy this week, so we'll go.
Yeah.
What do you got going on this week?
More trivia with all my nerdy friends, including my birthday trivia. We'll say Barbara can be the 3-time champion very soon. But other stuff as usual. Me and Brendan talking about doing a countdown of the best season finales. We're going to do that maybe sometime this week.
Yeah.
As well as some stuff over at the Pierce Wrestling channel as well as this channel and Rankum and Lights Out and whatever Henry's thing's called and yeah.
What's it called this time? Starting another Prince Henry.
Yeah. Richie.
Yeah.
You can find me in all pretty much all the other most of the places that JPO mentioned just then, and and catch me back here, talking about Vengeance and doing a best on mic draft. So that should be fun. So yeah,
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I don't think there's a clear number one for that. 'Cause, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what that first round looks like. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, and then I'll be on JPO's birthday trivia defending my title. Podcast about movies. Austin and I will be going on Saturday talking some 70s movies, anniversaries. Kind of unfortunately doing the tribute show as well because The Exorcist is one of the movies that we will be talking about, and William Friedkin has passed away at the age of 87. So he's lived a long life, lived a good life, but so we'll be talking about that as well as Serpico, Dawn of the Dead, and Watership Down, which I believe was the first time watch for Austin.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Curious to
Yeah.
hear
really
about
depressed
that.
it.
Thursday.
Yeah, no, I've never seen it. I've always wanted to, so we figured, yeah, it's an anniversary. I don't know.
it's
I
on
know
the
it's like
so
it's a kinder trauma movie apparently.
And then Thursday, you can catch me on Combat Wrestling Trivia taking on Paul Mead in the first round of the tournament. So, Austin, we'll go to you last. You plugs, parting words. Why don't you?
No, just the usual movie hero stuff, tournament fights, tier ranker fights. This Tuesday and Friday. I'll be with Jacob, obviously, on a podcast about movies. I'll be defending my Seen and Heard title on next Sunday for Seen and Heard trivia here, and other than that, not too much else. So yeah, that'll pretty much do it. So, and I don't have. I couldn't find it that MJF meme. I looked
I'll
for
have to send it
put
to
on
you.
my StreamYard, but
I'll have to send it to you.
but whatever. We'll just see.